And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. We are live from the Cincinnati Lights. We are live from the Cincy Light Studios. There we go. And you want to get you an ice cold Cincy Light? Head to our good friends at Hail Mary's. They will get you taken care of. They're in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue, right inside the Dora District. So you can go from bar to bar with your drinks. No need for that, though. Just hang out at Hail Mary's. 27 TVs, 9-screen video wall. Not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. They stream all the games. Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall, including this Saturday. If you can't make it down to the Holy Grail to watch the game with us, then get to Hail Mary's. If you're on the west side, they will have the game on. They have a brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8-degree frosted glasses. Also, I'll go ahead and just give the spiel here to Aaron for those that are interested. You see this Cincy Light sign? See that bad boy right there?
Yep.
It can be yours. We're giving away 2 of these Cincy Light neon signs. All you have to do, go to Instagram, follow Cincy Light on Instagram at Cincy Light, tag a friend in the comments. There's a picture post pinned to the top of the page. Tag a friend in that, and you will be registered to win one of 2 that we are giving away Cincy Light neon signs. We will be announcing the winners next Thursday night on the BCJ podcast. So get yourself one of these. I know they were all the rage when I put this thing in the background of the studio and everybody was interested. So now is your chance to get one for free. We're giving away 2. All right, let's get to the Big 12 recap, Aaron. We don't have a ton of these left, amazingly. We are winding down at the end of these 2 games tonight. We got 2 games going right now. We don't like doing that, but...
Which, by the way, that's on the schedule makers. That's not on us.
Yeah.
We're doing this show at 10:20. You have 20 games to figure this shit out, to just have only 1 late night game on a weekday. Just
Right.
1. You didn't need to have 2 on Mountain Time in the middle. It's silly. What are we doing?
It is. But here we are. We don't have a choice. I am not staying up till midnight to wait for the end of BYU Arizona State. So you're getting this at 10:30 on a Wednesday, whether you like it or not.
It'll be halftime by the time we're talking about that game, by the way. There's 12 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah. And the other game is pretty much
washed.
Academic at this point. So game of the week in the conference. Monday, Houston 69 on the road at Texas Tech 61. Texas Tech without Chance McMillan, without Darion Williams. So shorthanded, 2 of their best players, probably their second and third best players behind JT Toppin. They fought, they hung tough, but Houston does what Houston does. And at the end, they pull away. They win 69-61.
Texas Tech ran a 6-man rotation in this game. That's
they were
crazy.
I mean, they only have an 8-man rotation and 2 guys were out. And
that's
again
crazy.
It goes back to what I was talking about on the BCJ pod earlier tonight. The answer that Scott Drew gave me when asking about losing his big man. And he said, look, if this was 4 years ago, like this roster would be built different, but it's not 4 years ago. And you've got a finite amount of resources and you build the best roster you can. And essentially, if the wrong injury happens at the wrong position, you're screwed. And that's kind of where Texas Tech was. I give them a huge amount of credit for hanging with Houston as much as they did.
What did you think of the post-game comments after this one? I don't know if you saw them or not, where Kelvin Sampson essentially went out and said, we'll just call this game an asterisk. We won, but we'll put an asterisk on this one because they didn't have their full roster and they put up a fight, and we'll just put an asterisk on it. And Texas Tech's coach was like, we don't want it. We don't need your pity asterisk. We lost the game. It is what it is. Like we lost the game. We don't need sympathy or empathy from Kelvin Sampson in this. We lost. It is what it is. Let's move on. I thought it was interesting back and forth.
I love Grant McCaslin. I love him. Like, that dude is I'm
seems like a
fan.
Really good dude.
Good dude. Love his roster construction. Love his philosophy on offense and defense and how to put a team together and how he wants his guys to play. Like, it's guy that started way down the list in the JUCO ranks and kind of worked his way up step by step by step. I'm impressed with him. I'm impressed with how they played, with what I got to see of that game. And unfortunately, they didn't quite have the horses, and Houston just carries on. They clinched a share of the Big 12 title. I would have bet all of your salary that there would not be a team with 17 games into the Big 12 schedule that would be 16-1. But here we are.
So crazy thing is that game was only an 8-point game to finish 69-61, but Texas Tech shot 29.8 from the field, 20% from three, compared to Houston's 44.9% from the field, 50% from three. And still, I guess you won the rebound battle.
Why? No, look at offensive rebounds.
17. That'll do it.
Can you imagine 17? Like, that's what worries me about Saturday is they got their ass kicked on the defensive glass. Houston did. That ain't happening again. That ain't happening. You better make some shots because they ain't giving up a whole bunch of offensive rebounds on Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be. More guys scored double digits in this game than did not. So without going down that entire list, but yeah, just a wild one.
The guy to keep an eye on for Houston, he has been playing outstanding basketball of late. I've been talking about him for about a week and a half now for the way he has upped his game as Milos Uzan at point guard. He had 22, Roberts with 16, Emmanuel Sharp with 10. Those are your only double-digit scorers for Houston. Like you said, for Texas Tech, all four of five starters in double figures. Toppin with 14, Anderson with 10, Hawkins with 14, and Kerwin Walton with 12. Frederico only had 4, but he had 9 rebounds. Toppin had a double-double, 14 and 10. So they're just so good, man. They're just so freaking good, and it's annoying. Agreed. I love watching them play because of how hard they play, and they do everything kind of the right way. But they're so annoying.
It's like a look in the mirror, except you're seeing your 15 years ago self.
Right. Kansas 71-64 over Colorado. They were only up by 5 at the half. They only won the second half by 2. They get the job done. Hunter Dickinson has 32 and 13, but I'm just still, Kansas is not all that impressive right now. 15 for KJ Adams, 10 for Rylan Griffin, 2 in double figures for Colorado. Bengat Dak, he's going to make a lot of money if he goes into the portal.
Yeah,
and then 11 for Julian Hammond. Bengat Dak is really freaking good.
He is. Kansas is playing really weird brand of basketball right now. I don't know what's going on with that team. I don't know if there's something internally going on with them. I don't know if it's
there has to be.
Has to be. I can only imagine how frustrated Bill Self is now 2 years in a row where you just can't seem to figure it out. Last year you could blame it on injuries, I guess. But this year, there really isn't an excuse.
No. On to Tuesday, maybe the second most surprising score in the Big 12 this year, outside of Colorado's win last week. Oklahoma State 74-68 over Iowa State. That one, I did not see that one coming.
At this point, nothing surprises me anymore because Josh Reed, people are talking about building statues for him. So I don't know where we are. I don't know what timeline we've jumped to. Again, just things are really, really weird. But good on Oklahoma State. We talked about it last week. They're not giving up. The season may be out of reach for them, but they are still playing their asses off, doing what they can. You love to see that kind of fight.
I could see them being kind of a surprise team in the Big 12 tournament if they can get out of the first round.
Well, Cincinnati's got to play them before the season's over, and Usman, he had the biggest game for them with 25-6, and truthfully, the guy's 6'10", 245. I'm nervous about how we're going to match up with Abu Usman.
Yeah. 7-11 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. That is not something he had in his game, to my knowledge. 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Arturo Dean with 14, Bryce Thompson with 11, Marcellus Avery with 10, and then for Iowa State, Josh Jefferson with 17, Momcilovic with 10, Nate Heisey with 13. He was in the starting lineup because Keyshawn Gilbert is still out, but interesting, Aaron. Curtis Jones didn't start. He played 35 minutes, but they started Heisey over Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones had 11. I've heard some rumblings that locker room's not in great shape right now. And
because you got 6 guys. Essentially, you got everybody wants their piece, and got one ball.
You got 6 guys, but I don't think that's the thing. I think it's what we've talked about, like, with UC. They've lost a couple. They had that 3-game losing streak, and then they got back on track. But then they lost at Houston. They lost at Oklahoma State. So they're 0-2 on this little 2-game swing. And I've heard there's a little dissension in the ranks right now that TJ Otzelberger is going to have to figure out.
If I'm Curtis Jones, I'm probably wondering, we were winning without Momcilovic. Why does he get his starting spot back? Simply because he had it before he went down.
And they won the 4 games after he came back, and then they lost at Houston with 2 guys out. But you might be onto something if you're him. Like, hey,
he was balling out of control. He's not getting those numbers. He's not getting those minutes. He's not starting. There's maybe a little axe to grind there.
West Virginia at home handles TCU 73-55. Javon Small is back. He has not had one of these games in a while, but he has 23 and 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 of 16 from the floor, 6 of 11 from 3. That's the Javon Small that had West Virginia cooking earlier in the year. Sincere Harris with 13, Joseph Yesufu with 14, and Amani Hansberry with 9. Only one player in double digits for TCU, Trezarian White with 11. Aaron, have you looked at their starters? Punch had 3, Uday 4, Alete 8, Noah Reynolds 2, Brendan Witzel 9. Oh,
dreadful.
Yikes. That's a bad offense that had a really, really bad day.
Collectively, the starters had 13 rebounds also. Yeah. That's it.
Not great, Bob. Tonight, UCF took down Kansas State 80-76. That one was in Orlando.
To the wire.
How about this one, Aaron? It went down to the wire. I mentioned this on the BCJ pod. Kansas State had a 6-game winning streak. Where, remember, they've been number 1 in the country in the metrics over that 6-game winning streak. This is the Kansas State we thought we were going to see. They haven't won since then. They have played 10 games outside of that 6-game winning streak, or 11 games outside of that 6-game winning streak in Big 12 play. They're 1-10. You know, 1 win was? Don't ask. You don't want to know who the 1 win was.
I don't want to talk about that.
The only outlier on that Kansas State season. My goodness.
Their $1 million man continues to sit out as well since the end of that win streak. Weird. Keyshawn Hall, though, big game for Keyshawn Hall. He's really good offensively anyway. 26 points for him, 5 rebounds, 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. And then you have Darius Johnson also with a 20-burger in this one, 23 points, going 8 of 16 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3. I guess you one other guy in double digits for UCF in Mustafa Thiem. He had 11 and 10.
Big guy, yeah.
Double-double.
And then Kansas State, I mean, the guys played well. Max Jones had 22. Brendan Howson had 11. Doug McDaniel had 10, but he was 4 of 14 from the floor. And then CJ Jones had 12 for Kansas State. But they are now 13 and 15. So
I wonder what they would have been like with the guy who you went out and spent $1 million for in the offseason.
2. They spent $2 million on.
All right.
Coleman
Hawkins. Goodness.
And then the games that are in action right now, Arizona is rolling 65-43 over Utah. There's 11 minutes left in this game, and Caleb Love has 23. So
he's really good. I don't know what you want me to say, but
yeah.
Gabe Madsen only has 8 in that one. Your big score for Utah is Keanu Dawes off the bench. He's got 16 and 6. He's the only Ute with double digits.
The Utes.
But yeah, I think Arizona's going to walk away with pretty easily with this one with their 18-point lead, 22 point.
The other game ongoing right now, BYU up 47-37 in Tempe against Arizona State. Richie Saunders with 15 at the half. Bashir Jihad with 10 for Arizona State. Saunders 5 of 8 from 3. And your boy's hot, Aaron.
Trevin Nell, 4 of 5, all threes. He is hot right now. And 4 assists to boot at halftime. That's pretty nice stat line, but he's still not going to do what he did against Cincinnati. No way. No way.
I bet he's just passing to Richie Saunders.
That's a safe assumption considering there's only one other starter with points at all, and that's Kiba Kita with 2.
Yeah. And then Fusani Traore has 10 as well. He's 4 of 4. And then our guy Igor Demon hasn't scored, but he has 6 assists.
That guy's a freak.
He is a freak. Real quick on the weekend, is everything on? Almost everything on Saturday. One game on Sunday that nobody's going to watch. Texas Tech at Kansas, 2:00 on Saturday. UCF and TCU at 4. Cincinnati, Houston at 4:30. That one's on CBS, Aaron. Big time.
Yeah.
National audience. Bearcats do the upset, get the upset in front of a national stage. 7:00 Arizona State, Utah. 8:00 Oklahoma State, Baylor. 9:00, the big one for this window. Arizona at Iowa State, 9:00 on ESPN. I will be ready for that one when we get done with the nightcap or the aftermath. Sorry. And then West Virginia, BYU to round out Saturday. The only game on Sunday is Colorado, Kansas State at 4:00.
There you go. And your updated standings, at least what we have right now. Houston alone at the top, 16 and 1, comfortably there. Arizona, they should move up to 13 and 4 after tonight for second place. Texas Tech at 12 and 5 in third place. Iowa State at 11 and 6 in fourth place. BYU probably going to be there at 11 and 6, assuming that they hold on to that 10-point lead against Arizona State. Kansas dropping all the way down to 6th at 10 and 7. West Virginia and Baylor tied at 8 and 9 for 7th place, along with TCU as well. Utah probably going to drop to 7 and 10 to be tied with Cincinnati and Kansas State. So we are all the way up to, I don't know, 9th, tied for 9th. I think 1, 2, 3,
potentially,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, 10th, tied for 10th.
Yeah, 10th. Yeah.
And then you have UCF, Oklahoma State there at 6 and 11. Arizona State at 4 and 12 in 15th place, and Colorado down at the bottom 2 and 15, but still fighting.
The fighting Buffaloes. That's what I always call them. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We will have talking about talking and a look ahead at Houston tomorrow night here on the Nightcap. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. See you next time. Live from the Cincy Light Studios. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!